Hello, and welcome to Positive Psychology Coaching here at Positive Relations Media. I'm Ali Macadon, a certified positive psychology coach and breathwork facilitator. And today we are going to talk about how you can flourish and thrive using the 6 pillars of positive psychology. By the end of today's session, you are going to know what the 6 pillars of positive psychology are and how you can use them in your everyday to increase your overall well-being, your levels of fulfillment, and life satisfaction. So let's first get started with answering the question, what is positive psychology? Positive psychology is the scientific study of humans, of human flourishing. It's also the applied approach to optimal functioning. And it really involves uncovering and harnessing the strengths and the virtues that enable individuals, communities, and organizations to thrive. In other words, who doesn't want that, right? Who doesn't want that feeling of being able to flourish and thrive and function optimally? So it's really interesting because this is all based in the science. And so what we're going to do today is go over those 6 pillars of positive psychology and just have an introduction to each of them. And then in some of the upcoming videos, we'll break each of these pillars down and get into some of the specific scientific interventions that you can use in your life, some interventions and some exercises that have proven results to be effective within each of these 6 areas of our lives. Okay, so the first pillar of positive psychology is positive emotions. Positive emotions include pleasant and desirable responses to our perceived experiences. So these positive emotions include inspiration, interest, awe, joy, amusement, pride, hope, gratitude, serenity, love, and the list could go on and on. So when you actively apply positive psychology into your everyday, it's really an opportunity to be intentional with how you perceive and respond to circumstances. So my question for you, and feel free to pause this video as we go through each of these pillars and just take a quick moment to reflect or even write down just some bullet points on the questions that I'm going to give to you. Okay, so my question for you related to positive emotions is, what makes you feel good? What makes you feel good? And how can you structure your day intentionally to open up more opportunities for you to experience those positive emotions? So, for example, for me, I structure my day in such a way where I get to work pretty much right away. But first I go outside, I'm in nature, I'm watering my garden. Then I come in, I get some activity done. I accomplish some things and work. And then I'm ready to experience like some breath work, for example, or petting my dog makes me feel really good. And so I intentionally can structure my day in a way where I'm adding these positive emotions, right? So when you think about that snowball effect of what I do now is going to affect what I do in a moment because of how I feel, what can you do to intentionally increase more positive emotions throughout your everyday? All right. So the next pillar of positive psychology is engagement. Engagement is the intensity of attachment, involvement, and the concentration with what's happening in the present moment and day to day. So when we experience engagement in our personal lives and our work lives, we're literally performing better and we are more satisfied. Think about it. When you are fully engaged with what you're doing, you're in the flow, you're feeling good, you're contributing to something, and you're just completely focused on that thing, right? So engagement can be achieved when we identify and cultivate our personal and professional strengths, our values, our talents, right? So you're using those things, you're applying your strengths, your virtues, your talents to whatever it is that you're doing. And that combination creates this depth of engagement in your day. And really, when we go back to the science and we look at it, we know that motivation research has found that individuals high in engagement are more likely to be intrinsically motivated, meaning that we take responsibility for our results. We partake in activities that involve exploration of new activities, of learning, and we're really committed to the goals. We're committed to what it is we are engaging with. And that allows us to overcome any challenges that we may be experiencing along the way. So, my question for you is, what are you naturally good at? What are you naturally good at? Some people are really good at, and again, pause this video, take a moment. Some people are really good at staying positive. Maybe you're a very honest person. Maybe that's a strength of yours, is honesty. Maybe you're particularly patient, right? So take a moment, reflect on the things that you are really naturally good at. What are your natural strengths? And then on top of that, my next question for you is, how can you continually recognize your own strengths? How can you celebrate your strengths? And how can you nurture them or design your everyday so that you can really use your strengths, your virtues, your talents on a daily basis? So, for example, one of my strengths is that I maximize things. So I'm not necessarily particularly good at starting things. My husband is. He is an activator. He's really good at getting things started, getting the energy, getting people excited to do the thing. And I'm really good at maximizing things. So he'll get things started sometimes, and then I come in and I make them even better, stronger, wider reaching, deeper, whatever the thing is, right? So that's just one example of how you can recognize your strengths, celebrate the strengths that you have, celebrate the strengths of other people, and then design your day knowing what you're really good at and how you can apply what you're really good at in every interaction that you have or every moment throughout your day. All right. So we have so far covered the first two pillars of positive psychology. The first was engagement. Positive emotions. The second one was engagement. And now we are going to look at relationships. But before we do that, actually, I wanted to let you know that there's an acronym you can use to remember the 6 pillars of positive psychology, and it's known as PERMAH, PERMAH. I'm actually just going to pull up this little graphic here for you so that you can sort of visually make that connection. So PERMAH, PERMAH. Positive emotions, engagement, relationships, spoiler alert, we're going to go through the upcoming ones, relationships, meaning, accomplishment, and health. So again, Pause Psych Science tells us that when we have these 6 areas of our lives, we're giving them attention, we're aware of them, we nurture these 6 areas, that we are going to be living higher levels of fulfillment, life satisfaction, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So let's move on to relationships. Okay. So as humans, we all have a biological need for social support. Each time you positively connect with another person, the pleasure-inducing hormone oxytocin is released into your bloodstream immediately, which is known to reduce anxiety, to improve your concentration and your focus, among other positive benefits as well. So my question for you regarding relationships is, what does relationship building look like for you? How can you strengthen the existing relationships that you have in your life? An example for me is that a colleague of mine, she and we meet once a week, but we add 15 minutes to the beginning of every meeting that she and I have, because we know that we want to take some time before diving into business to get to know one another, to actually strengthen our relationships, to nurture that aspect of who we are as unique individuals, as people, not just in the roles that we have within the company that we work with. Okay, so that's relationships. Next up, we have meaning. Meaning involves belonging to or serving something that we believe is greater than ourselves. And studies have shown that in order to have a sense of meaning, we need to feel that what we do is valuable and that it is worthwhile. It's the why behind everything you do that gives the thing that you're doing meaning. So there is a quote that comes to mind from Viktor Frankl. And the quote is, "Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how." So this kind of goes back to what we were talking about moments ago, where when we face those challenges, when we're engaged with what we're doing and we face a challenge, if we know why we're doing it, why it's worth overcoming that challenge, then we will figure it out. When we know our why, we can bear almost any how. So along with meaning comes purpose. And purpose we could define as something that's greater than just yourself, right? So meaning and purpose, I really think of them as going hand in hand. It's involving belonging to something or serving something that we believe is bigger than ourselves, that purpose, the why we're doing something, but then also knowing the meaning behind our unique individual contribution to that bigger purpose, right? So this gives you a sense of fulfillment, a sense of why you're important in this world, why you're important in the systems that you are involved in, whether it's your communal system, your spiritual or religious systems, your familial systems, your workplace systems, right? You are an important role in each of those areas of your life. And that can give you a sense of meaning when you really take some time to consider what is the purpose of the overall community or the overall goal or objective that you're all working towards. But then also, what's your contribution to it? So my questions for you, and these are big things, right? I know this is a lot of information, but remember, in the future, we're going to break each of these down and spend more time within them. But this is just an overall picture. So feel free to pause and ask yourself what feels important, worthwhile, and meaningful to you. And what are 3 things? Maybe another way of thinking of this, if you're like, whoa, Hallie, that's huge. Another way of thinking of this might be like, what are 3 things that you're really grateful for today? What are the 3 things you're really grateful for today? And what is your role in that thing? So let me give you an example. I am really grateful for the sunrise this morning. It was a beautiful sunrise. I'm really grateful for that. And my role in that, I'm really grateful that I took the time to stop and observe that sunrise, right? So this is a science-based exercise where we express things that we're grateful for, 3 things every day. What am I grateful for? And to take it next level of improving our well-being even more is, what is my role in that thing that I'm appreciative of? So that gives you the sense of accomplishment, which we're going to get to next. It gives you the sense of recognizing why you are important in this world, why you deserve to be celebrated, why you should be grateful for you, right? Like, you're here watching this video. Congratulations. We should be very grateful for you taking the time and the energy to foster and nurture your well-being. So that's a big one. Meaning, love that one. All right, we have 2 left. So far we have gone through positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning. And the last 2 are accomplishment and health. So accomplishment is what we could think of as really, a key component of our well-being, is being able to look back at our life with a sense of accomplishment. Accomplishment is about the achievement of goals that are important to us. It's how we deal with the setbacks or our perceived failures. And it's understanding how our mindset can limit our potential to achieve what we want. I want to repeat that again. It involves how our mindset can limit your potential. Your mindset can limit your potential and hold you back from achieving what it is you want. So here we can start to really dive into mindset. So let's talk about a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. So a growth mindset really focuses on the journey of experiencing. It's that let's give this a go and see what happens. It's failing. It's learning until you do succeed. And a growth mindset is really viewing life events as opportunities to grow, right? It's the journey, not just the destination. And then a fixed mindset involves seeing setbacks as hard or impossible to overcome. A fixed mindset views things as permanent and unchangeable. A person with a fixed mindset sees things as absolute. When things go wrong, they can get into that victim mentality, right? And this fixed mindset can really hold you back. It can make the journey unpleasant, and it can prevent you from achieving the outcome that you're actually seeking. Okay, so can you think of a time when you experienced a growth mindset? A time when you were totally accepting of the setbacks you were experiencing, you totally viewed them and embraced them, the setbacks and the challenges as an opportunity to learn. You got excited about the opportunity to learn and to grow and to get that outcome that you're actually seeking. Or maybe it was a different outcome that you arrived at through that journey, but you embraced the journey along the way. Can you think of a time when you experienced a growth mindset? My next question for you, of course, is can you think of a time when you experienced a fixed mindset? That mindset where you just felt like this is impossible. I can't change this. Of course, sometimes we can't change things, right? But how do you respond to the things that you can't control? Is it with that, like, this is permanent, absolute, there's nothing I can do when things go wrong? Or can you approach it with that growth? Okay, so I'm going to give you a brief example. My husband and I built a little seed house, a little place to start some seeds and grow in our garden. And it got blown down by the wind. And my husband looked at that and he's like, we've got to throw it out. We can't rebuild that. We can't reuse any of the materials. The metal is bent. We're done. It's done. And I looked at that and I was like, absolutely not. So his mindset was fixed. He's like, this is absolutely, we can't change this. We can't fix this. We're done. We aren't going to achieve the goal that we wanted. I looked at it with a growth mindset and I said, that isn't true. This is an opportunity to rebuild that structure and make it even more sound. We can improve what we did last time. We can rebuild and we can improve. And just so you know, we did rebuild that thing and we did improve it. And it's still standing today, resurrected and stronger than ever before. And so here we are, right? We had that growth mindset. We came together. And we achieved what we wanted. We accomplished it. All right. The last pillar of positive psychology is health. This is a huge one as well, because we could really get deep into it. But basically, for now, let's just know that health involves 4 quadrants: nutrition, movement, sleep, and restoration. We know that when we have balance in these 4 areas of our lives, when we are eating well and our gut health is good, when we are moving our bodies intentionally, when we are getting a good amount of sleep, and when we are having restorative practices in our lives, that we are improving our overall well-being, we are experiencing a deeper sense of satisfaction with life, and it helps all of these pillars really feed into and nurture the others. So let's just focus briefly here on restoration, which is essentially what you can do to manage and maintain your energy in response to stress. You're resetting your nervous system, whatever it is, this whatever restorative practice that you have, or object that you have, or whatever it is that you do to restore your nervous system. You're resetting your nervous system and your mental space and your energetic space so that you can think, feel, and behave with intention, right? Sort of clearing the slate so that you can move forward intentionally. So my question for you is, what are some restorative practices that you engage with daily, monthly, annually? What are some restorative practices? What makes you feel good? What makes you feel like you have wiped the slate clean when you're feeling stressed or tired or anxious? What can you do to sort of reset and restore your system back to a natural or even more abundant, open, peaceful space? I'll give you a couple of examples of some things that we have here on Positive Relations Media. We've got breathwork videos for you, an incredible resource to reset your nervous system really quickly using the power of breathwork. We've got, I think, like some healthy cooking videos, right? And recipes, things like that, things that you can do for healthy cooking and eating and taking care of your gut health. Yoga, right? Intentionally moving your body, right? So we've got some amazing resources here for you. And think of whatever. I love, for example, okay, can be something so simple like hugging my partner or touching my dog, playing with my dog. I go outside in nature. I'll just step outside and take a few breaths of fresh air, maybe go for a quick walk, right? So it can be some really quick and simple things that you can do. Maybe it's a power nap. Maybe it's dancing and just moving your body, shamanic shaking, whatever feels good for you to help you just reset and come back into a open space. Okay. All right. So those are the 6 pillars. I know this is a lot of information, but I hope that this has been helpful to you to really just bring the 6 pillars of positive psychology to the forefront of your mind, to the forefront of your awareness, so we can start diving deep into each of these together and really determining how you can use them, right, to improve your overall well-being. All right. Until next time, I'll see you again soon.